Hey, welcome back to the lab. You know, we work with a lot of people out there who are growing business or trying to grow business. And you see patterns. You see it, we've seen it for the last 20 years over thousands and thousands of people that we've worked with. And what we see today, what works and what doesn't, a couple of things I want to share with you, because I would imagine that the things that you dream about when you're going down the road and the things that you really want for yourself and your family, you really do want. And there's some things that you can take cues from. Sometimes it's hard to see what we're doing ourselves. I like to get people's interpretations of things that I'm doing. Well, what does this look like? Does it make sense? And it's probably that willingness to check your ego out the door and take a look at what you're doing is a big difference between the people that kind of stay in the unsure mode of why am I not getting any farther versus the people that really go out and excel. Let's share a couple of things that we see going on right now. What we see, and we call it, in my book, one of the things you'll see, and please get this, and not for me, but for you, it'll make your life and business better. It helps you be intentional and get those things that you're looking for in life and in business. Here's what we see. We call it the crowd versus the rewired. What we see in the crowd, these are people that end up unsure about why they don't bust beyond where they plateaued. And dollars and cents wise, that could be at $25,000, it could be at $125,000. But they plateau and they're not quite sure why. We'll show you how to get through whatever it is. So in the crowd, what you see is that people take cues about how you should behave and act and do business and whatever from everybody that they see around them, which is smart because that's how we learn to speak. We learn to speak our native language just by listening and learning. And so that's how our brain really learns best. And so what happens is we take the cues. It's almost like living in a fraternity. We end up looking like everybody around us. We sound like everybody around us. So we end up earning pretty much the same thing as everyone around us. And typically, because of that, we aren't testing things because we look around and we go, well, that's how it should be. Well, if you want something more than what you got to be willing to do something you haven't done. And so what that means is testing. This crowd, the people that plateau, don't do much testing. And they'll even though you tell them, which is the wrong thing to do, but you help them to maneuver or to say different things, they almost will never do it because they're afraid to test it. They're afraid that it might do worse than what they're doing now. But what we find is that what we call the rewired, these are people that end up busting out and usually making anywhere from 2 to 20 times more money than these people. These people are a little different. They kind of take a step back and they go, well, what do I look like out there? How am I perceived? What am I doing? And one of the things that you see them do too is that they go, you know what, when they step back, they'll do something like, you know, how do I want things to work? How do I want to live? How do I want my business to work? And they think about that and they work on it almost relentlessly because they've chosen how they want it, and I'm damn well going to get it, and that's how they go after it. Where these people are just, you know, they'll complain, they'll do a lot of that, but they won't do a lot of testing and changing. These people go, look, I know that in my testing and I'm going to have to operate probably a little bit different than what everybody else does so that I look a little bit better to my target in a positive light. I'm going to have to work on myself. I'm going to have to do all these little things, and I'm going to test them and I'm going to see what the results are. And what they find is that sometimes it works worse and sometimes it works better. But it's just like, let's say if you're investing, I'm a venture capitalist, I'm going to look at 10 things, one of them is going to shoot the moon, I'm going to make gajillions of dollars. One of them is going to be better than the others, and these are all going to be kind of give or take the same, and a couple are going to be worse. But you'll never shoot the moon, you'll never get to second until you take your foot off first. And that's what this testing is all about. It's willing to risk a little bit. Test 20% of what you do. And then if you find something that works a little bit better, do 100% of that, and you find that you make big growth differences. And literally, what you find here between this group and this group, again, it's worth anywhere from 2 to 20 times more money. And also, if you've chosen to go about this in the way that fits with your life, what you find is not only do you make the money, but it fits into your life better, and you can invest your time in a more quality way, and it just gives you more time and freedom and all these things that we talk about in Rewire. So that's the difference between the crowd and the rewired. Whatever you want to do, the formula is perfect for what you want to end up with. If you want to be in the crowd, just do what everybody does. It's a perfect formula to get what they get, which is a plateau. If you want to be rewired and go to a place that most people will never go to financially and quality of life, then this is the formula, and it's the perfect formula to get there. Hope that helps. Leave your comments below. Love to hear your victories. Love to hear your test. Talk to you next time. Thanks.